The snow is not stopping yet. It's still coming down. So this storm is one of the most significant when it comes to snow total so far this season.
It has been messy out there overnight for sure.
Our extended team coverage continues with meteorologist Chris Bianchi standing by. Chris, you're tracking some very hefty snow totals so far.
Absolutely. We're closing out on a foot of snow in some parts of the metro area, and we're going to get into some of those snow totals. Of course, it's always the big question, right? How much snow fell at my house? And in Commerce City, about 11 inches so far. That, by the way, that total coming in from our very own meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, who's out there. Crescent Village, that's in western Jefferson County, about 10 inches for you. Westminster, 8.5. Boulder and Fort Collins, 8 inches apiece. And just notice the kind of wide variety in geography here. That's a pretty good chunk of land here that's covered by 8 to 12 inches worth of snowfall so far. Now, the official total, this is kind of laughable, let's be honest about it. 2.1 inches at DIA. Downtown, here in our 9 News backyard, here at Spirit Logan, we're easily at 7-8 inches, as Ed was just talking about. But officially, we are at 2.1 inches here at DIA, and that is, of course, due to the fact that the official measurements take place at the airport. Even with that in mind, though, we are now over 20 inches so far this season, so we're getting closer and closer to that average where, you might remember, we didn't get official snowfall here in Denver until December the 10th, our latest wait on record to get snowfall. So we've been way behind on this number all season long. We're making up some pretty good ground here, folks. We're over 20 inches so far this season. By the way, final note here is that on 9 News Watch over at 9news.com/watch, coming up at 8:45 this morning, I'm going to have an update on this storm in Spanish. So for our bilingual audience, just want to give you a little heads up that we'll have all of this information available in Spanish. And from that, I'm going to send things over to 9 News reporter Darius Johnson, who's out in the Boulder area this morning. Hey, Darius, how's it looking out there?
Hey there, Chris. You know, one thing I would love for you to tell me how much snow is over here because we're trying to figure that out right now. It seems like the snow has kind of calmed since we've gotten in this area. It's just falling really fluffy and pretty and very small so far, but many of these roads, they are covered in snow. We're in a neighborhood right outside of the Boulder Mountain Parks. You can easily see this is a beautiful shot. Nico and I actually stopped to take a couple of photos this morning as we were coming through this area and decided this would be a perfect live location this morning, not only because of the view, but also by looking at the streets. You can easily see that people have already come through here. We've been talking to you about that for the last few hours. Many of the snow removal crews coming down the streets, making sure that they are cleared. This is what we're seeing on main roads and right here on the side streets as well. But the one thing that I do have to say, unfortunately, for people who are going to be waking up this morning, they will still need to clear their sidewalks and pathways, all of those things, if they are trying to get out of their homes. We've already started seeing a number of people waking up this morning, ensuring that they are cleaning up this mess that came down overnight just so they can have an easy day today. But I can definitely say we've seen a number of people who are still out on the roads this morning. So, of course, stay home if you can. Make sure you crank up that all-wheel drive. But, of course, right here in Boulder, these crews are doing everything they can to keep these streets clear and safe for everyone that's going to be out this morning. Natasha, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you all in the studio.
Yeah, if you can stay and work from home, that is so good because the roads, as you can see from Darius's shot, is messy. Darius, thank you as always. And because of the condition today, air travel is going to be stalled. According to FlightAware, there are 133 cancellations, about 19 delays too, and that is likely to increase as the snow goes on throughout the day.
And today, hundreds of businesses and schools have called a snow day. We have created a list of all the closures and delays. They are on our website, 9news.com. You can also find them on the 9 News app on your phone, and we will be scrolling them throughout the show on the bottom of the screen. All right, if you have to head out the door, once again, have our app handy, real-time weather and traffic updates, and it is free to download. Just go to the Apple or Google Play stores.
Right now, snow crews are working hard to get the snow off the roads, but it is a tall task with how much snow keeps coming down. It's tough to keep up with all of it, but our amazing plow drivers are out. They've been out overnight doing their best to make sure it's as safe as possible for anyone that does have to venture out this morning. Joining us over the phone again is Nancy Kuhn with the Denver Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. Nancy, really appreciate you giving us updates this morning.
Sure. Nice to be here.
So last hour you were talking about how in addition to your regular plow drivers, you also have your residential plows out. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So we brought in our residential snow plow drivers. They work a 12-hour shift from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so over that course of that 12-hour shift, they will take a path down the center of each side street in Denver. So they help create a path to the main streets for travelers, and by shaving off the top few inches of snow, help prevent deep ice ruts because this is a storm where we just have prolonged cold temperatures. I don't think it's getting above freezing till Friday. So the plows can help, the residential plows can help in preventing ice ruts.
I know folks really appreciate that. So you weren't able to lay down pre-treatment ahead of this because of just how much snow was expected. Tell us about your plan going into this storm and how it's all working out overnight and into this morning.
Well, what the crews have been doing overnight and what they're continuing to do is run their routes and push the snow out of the way. So they've been trying to keep up with some pretty heavy snowfall rates overnight. So they'll continue to run their routes and do that work. Not making a lot of sense to put a whole lot of material down until, we know the snow is significantly stopped. Otherwise, the snow will just fall on top of the material, and then we'll push it away, and we don't want to waste that resource. So they'll be watching the weather today, watching conditions, and making their deployment decisions based on what they're seeing throughout the day today.
And Nancy, real quick, I know we give out tips every time we have a snowstorm, especially one like this, but tell viewers what they should know before hitting the roads this morning in terms of traveling and plow drivers.
Well, we're anticipating the roads to remain snowpacked today because it's so cold out. So, and there's, you can't really see the lane lines. So, just keep that in mind that it could be difficult traveling. It's going to be snowpacked. You need to go slowly. When you're approaching intersections, especially slow down, just to avoid, crashes and sliding into intersections. So you want to make sure you clear your car off so you can see through your windows and see clearly, and just look out for one another. We still have people going to work today, and they might be walking to work, biking to work. So please keep an extra eye out for everybody as you're on the roads.
Absolutely. Be kind and give those plow drivers extra room today because they're doing the best to clear it all off. Nancy, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. 13 after 7 right now. Back to our extended coverage of the snow that came down overnight. Snow still falling at this hour in the city. Got quite a bit in Denver. 9 News reporter Jordan Chavez has been roaming the roads in the metro area. Where are you now, Jordan?
Hey, good morning, Gary. We are in the Highlands neighborhood right now, really just showing you an example of what Nancy was just talking about there. We have seen some of the plows making their ways down these streets. Looks like somebody, what are they? Are they waving at us about something? Maybe they're just saying hi. Maybe they're just friendly people. I don't know. Maybe that's who lives over here. I want to make sure we're not getting in the way of their efforts. We are seeing people that are shoveling off their sidewalks and the driveways to make sure they can get out this morning. We actually wanted to see what it looked like before any plows came out here. So we drove down the alleys, and a lot of snow has really fallen in this area. So much so that if you really don't dig your way out, it's going to be hard for you to get out of the neighborhoods this morning for that commute. A lot of people are up early, moving around right now, so we are seeing more traffic out on the roads. We were stuck behind some plows a little bit earlier on the highway, so we were seeing some delays there. Thankfully, though, as you've been listening to Erica Lopez all morning long, not a ton of crashes that we might have expected at this time. We are seeing some messes out there, but looks like mostly a lot of the delays are snow plowed. Look at this happy dog that's in front of us. We can get any closer. This is the kind of content we need this morning, just prancing along in the alley. You're going to get probably a really cute shot of it coming up. At this time right now, I'm just rambling. Of course, we will keep our eyes on the roads. In the meantime, I'm Jordan Chavez, live in downtown Denver.